Hi, I'm Sarah Kimzey, and I live in the state of Wisconsin. So here, all students are integrated into the general education classroom, and there are no special needs classrooms. We do have special needs teachers, of course, but typically they work with students with special needs inside of the general education classroom and follow the curriculum of the general education classroom. The role of a special education teacher when it comes to supporting learning and planning and improving in practice is that the students are following their own individualized education plans and that they are having modifications and accommodations to the curriculum that is implemented by the general education teacher, and this is monitored by the special education teacher within the classroom. If the student needs extra support outside of the classroom, then accommodations are made to support the child outside of the classroom as needed. But in general, in the state of Wisconsin, typically special education teachers do their best to try to keep students within the general education classroom as much as possible. The general education teacher's role is to make sure that students in their classrooms who have special needs and or IEPs are supported by them and that they have an open line of communication with the special education teacher and that the general education teacher is clear on the needs and accommodations and modifications that the student should be receiving and what specific services the student should be receiving within the special education program at the school by the special education teacher. Currently, I have had experience working in special education in a variety of capacities. Most recently, I was a special education aide working in a general education classroom here in Wisconsin with multiple students across multiple grade levels. And I learned that the most important thing when it comes to working with children with special needs inside of a general education classroom in Wisconsin is to kind of be that liaison between the special education teacher and the general education teacher and making sure that I have an open line of communication with both the general education teacher and the special education teacher. And I feel like once I do become a special education teacher, which I'm actually going to be starting doing next week, that I am able to maintain that open line of communication with the general education teacher, just like I did in my previous role in a slightly different capacity. And that I also continue to have an open line of communication with the students that I work with as well as their families. I definitely have the disposition of having the nurturing quality of communicating with other people, especially with students and their families. And I think having a rapport that's healthy for everyone involved is crucial to the education and development of children with special needs. I think that having personal biases can definitely affect how a student learns and how they can be supported. I have unfortunately witnessed this in the past, and it can be detrimental to a student's academic learning needs as well as their developmental needs if the teacher is biased towards the student and or their family. I have seen that it can cause issues between the teachers and the students, and it can also cause issues between students and their peers, as well as between teachers and family members. If a family member doesn't feel like their student is being supported by the teachers in the education field, then they are usually not as eager and much more reluctant to seek out additional support from the teachers, which means that the student isn't receiving all of the support that they could be receiving. So I think it's really important that teachers always come into the classroom, whether they're a general education teacher or a special needs teacher, and have an open mind when they come in and understand that intentional teaching is absolutely crucial, and that students always are feeling supported by all of the adults in their life in and out of the school setting, and that there's a strong communication between family members and the school staff, from the principal to support staff, as well as general ed and special ed teachers.